Hi guys, hello. Welcome back to another video. This is just a really short one on the current Matt Hancock scandal, which I hope you will enjoy. I'm Mirjam, psychological astrologer, and this channel is all about sharing my passion with you and helping you brush up your knowledge so that you can become better astrologers. So let's jump right in, right? So you've heard the news, I suppose. Big scandal. Matt Hancock had an affair. He broke his own COVID rules. So what's going on? What's going on in the stars? Yeah, what has triggered all of this kind of coming out into the open in such an explosive way? The stars can give us quite a few hints there. So I had a look at Hancock's natal chart first. Unfortunately, we don't have a birth time for him, so we only have a noon chart, which I've put in the middle here. So the inner wheel, that's Matt Hancock's natal. He was born on the 2nd of October in 1978. And we have a look at the transits from last night when the news broke. So I've put this chart, this outer wheel, for Friday night, yesterday. And the first thing I found really striking is if you look at Mars, Mars is in an exact square to his natal Mars, right? So we have to look at what energy are we dealing with. So this is about, one part was following the rules, the other one was, well, something sexual, right? So something to do with relationships, or an affair. Obviously most of the time has to do with Venus and Mars, and very interestingly, we can see Mars in Hancock's chart. Here it is. It's at 8:32, I believe, roughly, because we don't have the exact time. So roughly at 8.5 degrees of Scorpio, and it is in an exact sextile to Saturn. I mean, that is a combination that makes you quite fond of rules. This is really very much about following the rules. Saturn is representative of rules and regulations, and Mars, Saturn, that is like the classic, like the police. I call it the police constellation. I know some people that work for the police who have a Mars Saturn aspect. So that's the classic, because it's, you invest your energy in establishing rules or making sure that the rules and the structure is being upheld. Yeah, that's what you put your energy in with Mars Saturn. That's what you really fight for. So that normally in Hancock's chart we see the sextile. That shouldn't be too much of a problem for him, right? So why on earth did he not follow his own rules? I mean, obviously with all that Scorpio energy here, it's he may have a talent. Obviously we don't know which house it's placed in, we don't have the ascendant either, but we know that this energy is quite good at keeping things hidden and obscured, right? But we can clearly see that the Mars Saturn sextile is not the only Mars aspect in Hancock's chart. We also have an exact opposition here to Chiron in Taurus, and we have a square from Jupiter in Leo. And Jupiter Mars square is a bit like the opposite of that Saturn sextile, really. That is, Mars Jupiter is really taking it too far, getting a bit too excited, and Leo and Scorpio are possibly, well, they're definitely amongst the most passionate and emotionally and sexually expressive signs in the whole zodiac. Yeah, so he has these two planets in a square, and also this opposition to Chiron that doesn't bode too well. There is some sort of a wound here. There's something that doesn't look quite right. Yeah, and this Mars Jupiter is really being, there's a bit of the Mars in Scorpio is about control, but this Jupiter makes it really, really, really hard. Despite the Saturn sextile, so this may just be someone who's just really good at building structure or setting up rules, but he's constantly kind of tempted to test the limits, go beyond that, because Jupiter is really is boundless energy, just wants to live and explore. It does not have this restrictive side to it that Saturn has, which is the polar opposite of Jupiter, obviously. So, and along comes transiting Mars here in Leo on Friday night and hits natal Mars in an exact square. Yeah, and it all just explodes. But that's not the only aspect. I believe there was something boiling there for quite a while, and that has to do with transiting Uranus. Transiting Uranus is just about to hit the exact opposition to natal Uranus, which is here, about 14 and a half degrees of Scorpio, and it's just 1 degree away, right, the opposition. And Uranus opposing itself, obviously, that occurs around the age of 42, 43, which is his age now. And we also call this the midlife crisis aspect. That is the time, obviously, the middle of your life, because obviously Uranus takes 84 years to make his full cycle, to come full cycle in the zodiac. So 42 degrees, so you're about halfway. And so some people that do experience like a huge like a shake up, like everything that they have established so far kind of breaking away. That doesn't always have to be monumental, or in terms of losing everything, your house, everything you have in your account, your marriage, your job, everything in one go. But it may still be felt as like a major change in direction, and just erasing one part of your life that is just kind of, you're not up to date anymore, or something that was really built on very, very shaky ground all along. So that is what Uranus likes to expose. And when it comes along, often its effect can be felt like some sort of wrecking ball. I love this wrecking ball analogy. And obviously I've had my own experience with Uranus transits. So it almost looks like that there is something bigger going on, because obviously now this affair has come out in the open, and there's been speculation like, how long has this been going on? And obviously Hancock is married. He's been married for 15 years, and I don't think his wife will be very appreciative of of this story now coming out, and I'm sure there will be more details exposed over the next couple of days or weeks or whatever. Obviously this is not the first story of that kind that has made the news and the headlines, but I just thought I'd give you a quick insight into what is going on. So it's Mars here, and transiting Mars has just hit natal Mars exact on the day. Uranus is joining as well in the fun, possibly Saturn here in Aquarius, also in a square to natal Uranus, not quite exact, but close enough to just give him a warning, maybe a bit of a warning. And again, Saturn is about the rules and the regulations and what you need to follow. And if you don't do a good job, then you will be punished, right? You will be punished, or you will be just chucked out, chucked out. And I think this is just what's happening now. But I find it very interesting that it was this exact Mars transit, because I think it's really that Mars, and then again possibly the Jupiter square, which is what has caused this, like the background energy of what has led up to this point. Because just if that square didn't exist and we would just be looking at the Mars, again, the Mars Saturn sextile, normally gorgeous constellation for someone who gets a lot of satisfaction even out of following the rules, or having some sort of structure and fixtures and regulations in their life. And but something is really not working out well here. So I think this is the Jupiter influence that makes it difficult to just go with this sextile. The squares, the conjunctions and the oppositions normally are always they produce the strongest energetic response. Yeah, I guess you could call it energetic response. The sextiles is just softer flow of energy, but normally if you see someone with a sextile, would say, oh my god, this is a top guy, someone who's really reliable, truthful, faithful, and just really passionate about, again, the passion, the Mars, especially Mars in Scorpio, passionate about rules and being extremely picky at that, because it's Saturn in Virgo we're talking about, which is very, very fussy and doesn't really like, it's a similar energy to Scorpio in many ways, and it likes to be in control, checking out that everything is 100% proper, that it's all properly done according to how it's supposed to be, just doing the right thing. So you would think that this is someone who's really passionate, Mars, about doing the right thing, Saturn, and abiding by the rules. But we can see in the background that Jupiter and possibly Chiron, although I don't look at Chiron that much, I don't tend to look at Chiron that much, but I think that plays a part here as well. So this Mars is not fully functional. It's being tempted by this Jupiter in Leo, so there's also ego issues there, just feeling or a desire to feel better. Also just pretty much the opposite and of Saturn, not wanting to feel caged, not wanting to feel restricted, just being very free in expression. And that is then probably a classical, well, we don't want to say adulterer, but it looks like there is an issue there, and it probably has to also to do with proving something, proving how great you are, or how how people, some sort of need of admiration, possibly. But just really looking at the Bear constellation, it's just a passionate expression of this Mars energy, right? So it's probably this Jupiter square that just makes it very, very hard to rein that in. That's what I'm feeling. Obviously, that is something that needs work. You need to work on that over the course of your life. So Matt Hancock is halfway through his life now. We can see that he's not been doing that well when it comes to this particular task that his natal chart reveals. So it'll be interesting to see how this develops. We've just had the news that he has resigned from his position as health secretary, which probably shouldn't come as a big surprise, because it does look like a proper shake-up, a bit of a shock, but then again, maybe not shock, because, you know, this vibe, I think, had been going on for a while. I mean, I have followed the news a little bit, and there was other little stories, you know, people calling for, you know, he needs to step down, blah blah blah. But interestingly, like just a Mars transit on the day, and the lid goes up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little insight. And again, leave me a comments, and I hope you enjoyed all the details. I've tried to put a lot of details in it, because I think this is what I really want to show you when I analyze something or show you something. I really want to look at all the details that I can see, so that you can also train yourselves to look at not just the one most obvious thing, but also look a little bit, you know, at the background, because that is a great thing that astrology offers us. We get all the information there, yeah, just all of it. Right, so I hope to see you very soon on the next video, and have a nice evening. Bye.